Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment.
This is All Energy Breaux Keller, and you're listening to the MGB Wrestling Podcast.
Today we have a very special guest, the first ever Primetime Pro Champion, Jockzilla, Breaux Keller. How you doing, Brock?
Bro.
Bro.
Whoa!
He is a champion as well.
Quite alright, though. Hey, I get that all the time. Either Brex or Brox or just looking at it on paper, I can totally see it, so it's quite alright. But I'm doing just dandy. Just finished a workout. I know you guys just went for a walk out in the steamy sun, so I'm glad we could link up and make this happen.
Well, I'm going to let you off the hook here, Mason, because our next guest next week is Beau Crockett. And I continually have been saying for the last few days when I've been talking to people, I've been saying bro when I meant Beau, and I've been saying Beau when I meant bro. So I'm going to let you off the hook a little bit on this. Now, we're going to apologize in advance. Our last few interviews, we've had great structure. It's been perfect. Mason's done his questions. We've kind of come to my questions. We've had a very even flow. Today, you've got so many things we want to talk about. We've discovered ACW, which we didn't know about before. Actually, I might have written that down wrong. Atomic Championship Wrestling. Nova Pro, Primetime Pro. We've also seen you at MCW. We've seen you at Crab Wrestling. We've seen you at lots of different places. So we're going to keep dipping in and out, and we're going to switch questions around. So it'll be a little confusing, but we had a lot we wanted to ask you. Go ahead, Mason. Take it away.
For people who haven't seen you wrestle, how would you describe your wrestling style and the Breaux character?
So, honestly, I'll just start from the beginning, if you will, in terms of character, is because, even in my old job, so, people always tell me, oh, man, you're such like a frat bro, you're such like this fratty guy, and I was like, no chance. I despised frat bros. They have the weirdest mentality towards everything. All due respect, though, I'll throw that out there, because not everybody is a jerky frat bro, but I kind of just ran with it, and instead of just using the basic, BRO, bro, which we're all familiar with, I was like, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's throw some pizzazz in there. Let's BREAUX, throw that French style, and honestly, just kept it rolling from that point. Didn't really have necessarily a signature set or a move style that I was looking to move towards. It just kind of happened organically. I was able to utilize some of my athleticism that I kind of acquired through the years of running track, playing football, so on and so forth, just trying to stay athletic and work out in the gym. And once I got in the ring, it all just kind of came together, meshed well, and I found my own sort of athletic style, if you will.
Your entrance is so energetic. What is the entrance music and how did you come to choose it?
Ooh, all right. So that is something special because I don't want to say I chose the entrance music. It chose me. It was just something I felt. It just courses through my veins. It literally gets me amped up before every time I walk out through the curtains. It's like you hear it pumping. It's pumping. The crowd starts getting into it, and I just shoot out like a cannon. And no, I mean, it's just something fun. It's lighthearted. It keeps everybody vibrant and awake. And I know sometimes there's certain shows can go on for a long time. If I can make any little sort of quirk, if you will, in order to keep the spirits, the morale, the energy high, then I'm going to do that. And this song is called What's Up, Suckers by TJR. He's a DJ. And the moment I had the opportunity to pick my music, I was like, boom, that's it. That's game over. That's what I want.
Now, I'm wearing my Breaux shirt today, and as we just talked about music, every time I look at it, I always think of the David Bowie album, Aladdin Sane. What are your musical influences? Because to me, it reminds me of David Bowie, but it also got that very 80s feel to it. So what music does Breaux like to listen to?
So, I mean, music-wise, it doesn't necessarily correlate as tightly like David Bowie-esque. In that sense, I'm big into electronic music. I definitely like rap and hip hop. I'll listen to rock, metal. I mean, you name it. I have it on my phone, in my library, on my Spotify, whatever device I'm listening to. But especially with that design, There were little pieces I picked apart from Daft Punk, probably my favorite musical group of all time. And the guy that I was working with, the designer, I just kind of gave him an idea. I was like, yes, I want these colors. I want this sort of layout. And he made magic happen. That was probably my favorite shirt so far that I've made.
While researching for this interview, we think we saw your wrestling debut at Atomic Championship Wrestling. Was this your debut, and can you tell us a little bit about this organization?
Absolutely. So I like to think it's probably my official debut, if you will, but I will say there was one show prior to that that I wrestled in, and it was a mess, to say the least. There were probably like 14 people in the crowd. We got there a little early. The ring was super jacked up. It was really loose ropes. And when it was finally our turn to go out, they didn't even have music for me. So I'm standing behind the curtain. I'm waiting. They announced my name. Still waiting. No music. And I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to bother. Let's just get after it. So ran through the crowd. Gave everybody my high fives, hopped in the ring. It was a decent match. I mean, it was a good opportunity for me to get my toes wet, which is exactly what I needed at that point, being, the first time ever, getting into the ring in front of people. So I really enjoyed that opportunity. But, yeah, like you said, at Atomic, my first probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 matches involved me versus this gentleman named Twisted Tate. And he was actually my trainer there, too. So in getting into wrestling, my brother was actually dating a wrestler, and we were having a campfire one night. And he was like, hey, man, like, do you want to get into this thing? And I was like, yeah, I've been thinking about it, but I just feel like I'm too small because, I'm just kind of like, I was like a scrawny guy, so I didn't think I could really do it. But my brother messaged this other wrestler, and he was like, hey, you're on tomorrow. They're going to have you. So
wow.
Literally, yeah, I didn't even have time to second guess it. It was really just a matter of like, all right, if this is what I want to do, I got to do it. So in that moment, I just decided, like, if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it. So literally the next day, it's like a Monday afternoon after I finished work, I drove over to the Atomic training facility, helped them set up the ring, got in there, and it was literally just off to the races at that point.
Now, we didn't know. I think when we originally asked if we could interview you and you said yes, we didn't actually know about Atomic at all. We found Pivot Share, and suddenly we found 36 new Bro matches. So we got to see a lot. We didn't realize there was that whole library out there. I thought our starting point was going to be almost 2 years later, as it was. So we didn't know anything about this at all. We're also looking over our shoulders a little bit. Somehow you managed to read Mason's second question without even. It was like, whoa, that was spooky. It was almost like word for word. So you can skip that question. Now, I want to talk about that debut, though, at Atomic. We've never seen anything like that before. That was why we asked, is it your debut? I don't think I've ever seen a response from a crowd like that from a debut. Normally, when the person comes out...
So wild.
Yeah. What was that, family and friends? How did people know who you were? Or was it just literally your entrance? It's just so energetic that people were so pumped up. I've never seen a reaction like that before.
I appreciate that. I'd like to think it was the latter, but no, there was a good handful of family. And mostly, I think probably half of that group was just people from work. Like, I put something up on Facebook. I told a few people about it, and they're like, wait a second, you're doing what? So just in their curiosity, they're like, all right, we got to check this out. And honestly, to my surprise, there were as many people as there were, and they like made their own T-shirts, I think, too, if I remember correctly. And they had signs and stuff. Yep. Honestly, if there's never like a big time opportunity or big time moment, or, as a lot of people say, the WrestleMania moments and whatnot, if that never happens, just having that experience there with those people and probably a unique experience to them, because I know most of them didn't even realize what professional wrestling was before that match. And for them to come out and support me and cheer the way they did, I mean, it's just giving me goosebumps right now, just kind of, reflecting on it, because it was super special. And like, I can't thank all of them enough. And that was a few years ago, but just to see, with that being my beginning and trying just to keep that momentum rolling, it truly was like a really good moment for me.
Now, the thing that surprised me also, with that first one, like I said, we had a whole new catalogue of matches we hadn't seen. First match, it was almost the Breaux that we know even today. Like, on the very first match, we saw the arm pumping on the entrance, on the side of the ring. And I realised, Mason, because we didn't write it down, I messed up on the intro. As you were introducing Breaux, I was meant to do is... I forgot to do the clap.
Yes.
The clap was even on the second one as well. So the question was going to be, how has your character changed or evolved? There was so many things that were so familiar, even from that debut. What things would you say have changed?
A lot of it really, it's my mentality going into different shows and honestly, while being in the ring, like especially back then, you could probably pick apart like all 36 of those matches that you mentioned and find some wonky moments or screw-ups. But I'm really, at this point in time, just trying to build a little bit more of an arsenal in terms of moves. I'm really trying to gain more comfort in the ring because a lot of people don't realize, yes, it's predetermined, yada, yada, yada. We all get that.
Yeah.
But there are moments in between that people don't understand that we have to kind of embrace. So it's like, just to give a simple example, if I'm punching and kicking a guy, boom, and maybe he falls down or goes into the corner or something, I can use that moment to feed off the energy in the crowd, which probably wasn't something I was doing back in my original matches. I was probably rushing. You could probably see me just thinking about what was coming next, rather than embracing that moment and really living in it. So a lot of the evolution at this point is just really still continuing to get comfortable in there and recognizing those moments and living into their fullest, because there's too often of times like I can watch matches and I'm like, you can just tell like they're not into it. They're just kind of walking through it, just doing what they're supposed to do. But yeah, at this point, a lot of the evolution is, just really gaining that comfortability, interacting with the audience, just trying to build as much, charisma as I can, and just really trying to hone my craft because the moves are there. I mean, a lot of guys can do a lot of moves. I think we've all seen that and know that. But at this point, it's what's in between the moves. And yeah, I mean, that, and I guess more broadly, I could say my gear has changed.
Can you tell us your memories from that first title run?
Yeah, that was my first title in Atomic. And yeah, even just having that opportunity was something special because, I mean, no matter how big or small companies are, wherever you are at, I mean, holding their championship, they're showing faith in you as a competitor, and you as somebody that they can depend on, that they can rely on. And that's something I don't take lightly, no matter what it would be, whether it was, like I mentioned earlier, on the football field, on the track, now in this profession of wrestling. That's something that I take a lot of pride in. So having that title, especially being so new and young, if you will, that was something that you definitely feel the weight of responsibility on your shoulders, but it was something I embraced, and I think that really helped me kind of earlier on in my career in terms of getting in the ring with some of these professionals that have been in the business for a while. Robbie E. I mean, he's a guy that's been on TV. He's in NXT now, so I've been fortunate enough to wrestle him. Obviously, a name that you guys are familiar with, Tim Donst. I wrestled him at Atomic as well.
Yep.
Twisted Tate. I even tagged with Joey Ryan. I mean, the list goes on. It's been a great experience with them. Twisted Tate is a great guy. He was an awesome trainer. I owe many thanks to him just for the opportunities that he's afforded to me.
And I can say, all this was stuff that we had no idea about before. We thought, I don't know, I guess every organisation assumes that. We first saw you at Nova Pro, of course. Now, I did see you've also gone on to be 4-time ACW champion, so you've obviously got some great success there. And we also saw you face other people. We got a few other matches to catch up on. I know Savage Gentleman we saw as well, so there was a few other familiar faces that we recognised, so we're going to go look at that back catalogue. October 2017, though, is your Nova Pro debut. That's the first time, well, we think that's your Nova Pro debut. That's when we first saw you. What can you remember about that match? And if you need a hint, it was Ace Perry and Danhausen.
Okay. Wait, Danhausen was the other guy?
That was, somebody told me this. They were like, you know that Danhausen's been at Nova Pro, and everyone's like, no, that wasn't him. And then we look back, and yeah, it was. He wasn't the character we know today. It was Donovan Danhausen.
Oh my goodness, you just blew my mind right now. I did not know that. That's incredible. Oh my goodness. And I think that was even on the pre-show, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Sure.
I think he was one of the dark matches, yeah.
Oh my, I very specifically remember that, because I want to say the show, it was a pun in terms of like lariats and like pumpkin spice lariats or something like that.
That's exactly what it was. Yep.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yes. So I remember because we were trying to piece some stuff together, and to no fault of his own, I think it was traffic or something, but Ace Perry got there late, and I mean, you're on the pre-show and the guy's getting there late, so you've got no time to try to figure anything out. So he came rolling through, and we were basically like, all right, dude, this is the format we got. What do you want to plug and play with? And then he's like, well, let's maybe do this, and that. And I was like, oh boy. Okay. So like, we're literally still trying to figure out the finish as music starts hitting. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, at that show as well, my music did not play.
You are right.
It came out. So you can tell that there's not much luck in terms of the music department on these shows for me. But no, that was a fun time. I remember the crowd, everybody was kind of like, who's this guy? I don't know, but he's smiling, so maybe we'll give him a clap or two. And I went out and I had fun. I mean, it was an opportunity that I was lucky to have, because I rode down with Mr. Tim Donst, and just being there, I showed my face a couple of times, and they were like, hey, if you want to get in there, let's make it happen. So thank you to Mike on that front too, the promoter, and putting me in that match.
I went back and watched it because I was going to watch it anyway. With it, this is before we actually did the MGB Wrestling podcast, so we don't have a review of that match. So I wanted to go back and watch, and particularly once I knew Danhausen was there as well, because obviously it looks totally different without the face paint on. I didn't recognize him at all. I could walk by him in the street that first time. I had no idea that's what he looked like. There was some other interesting things on this, and once you mentioned the music on the earlier section, I was like, oh, well, that's going to come up again. Josh Fuller was the ring announcer. The referee was Jake Hollister. I don't ever remember seeing Jake Hollister as a referee before.
What? I don't either.
Yeah, there was a lot of strange things. So yeah, Danhausen was there. You didn't actually get pinned, so technically you didn't actually get a loss in the first match. Ace Perry pinned Danhausen.
Hey, that works for me. I won't complain about that.
You were involved in a huge superplex, and it was like, ow, you can kind of feel that one. You did start the clap. And even on your debut, everyone immediately joined in. There's something about... I wanted to ask that. Where did that clap come from? Because it's instant. It's the 1, 1, 2. Everyone picks up on it straight away. Even though they don't know you, it's infectious.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, it's another thing that kind of... It's not anything I really thought about. I didn't put any, extra time thinking about, what could I do? It was something that I felt. I think maybe I was just kind of banging on the table at one point before a match, and I was making a beat, and then I just went out there and I was like, hey, this could be fun. Let's play with this. So I just started doing it, and thankfully people did catch on, and they do like to clap along, because that's just another thing. So it's we talked about the music hitting. Everybody's kind of feeling that when I come out. And then I get in the ring, and then we'll get a clap going. I'm feeling that too. Everybody else is feeling it. It's just another thing that brings us all together, and we can embrace each other and have fun with while the show is going on, because that's what makes it so tough to watch nowadays when you don't have an audience, because so much of professional wrestling is that interaction.
Yeah.
And people, feeding off of each other and the energy in the room. So if that's just another little thing that I can incorporate and people will play along and humor me with, then I'm super happy at the end of the day that, we were able to have that moment.
I can confirm everyone totally bought into you when you came out. Because like I said, the music didn't play. but you just ran out and went with it, and Mason got high fives, everyone on the outside, because you ran out with the double hands and you went all the way around. Everyone was totally buying into it. Now, on a recent episode of MGB, and the reason I'm talking about this, I'm going on to December now. You had a match against Lucas Calhoun. We talked about the most painful move to experience in wrestling. Now, that superplex I thought looked pretty painful. What I want to know is, though, how painful is that 1-inch punch? Where does that rank?
Oh, that's easily top 5. That thing rattles your entire insides. It's just, it takes you by surprise, too. You don't even see it coming. And then, there's these fingers on your gut, and then out of nowhere, boom, full knuckle. And the time that it takes to radiate through my entire body at that point, complete shock. I just drop down to my knees, just eat the mat. There's nothing more I can do at that point. I think that was a very quick match of mine, too, because he hit that, in 2 or 3 minutes.
It was like a gauntlet match. There was several people. And we weren't actually there at that one. We watched that one on IWTV. But yeah, there was several people that came in. I remember Dick Justice was one of the other people. And I'm not quite sure who else was after you, to be honest.
I think Isaiah Frazier might have been in that too.
Sure. You might be right. That does sound familiar, actually.
Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%.
We'll edit that out if that's not true. We'll fact check that later.
What was Old Dominican Rumble match like?
Honestly, I can't remember too much from that. I feel like that was another time where I came out. I had music, thankfully, but nothing overly abundant stands out to me. I remember Christy James and Alley Cat, though. They had me in the corner, and both of them tried to flip me out. So there's that.
Christy James was on AEW Dark last night as well.
She was?
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing the opportunity that I'm seeing so many, of our peers, really, that they're getting. And I can see a couple of those guys that I've either been on shows with or been in the ring with that have been on AEW or even AEW Dark. And it's something incredible to see.
Well, we were hoping you were going to bail us out, actually, because at the end of the interview, we're going to play some clips from our reviews, and we didn't get much for you as well. You grabbed Josh Fuller because he was hiding under the ring and threw him into the ring, and then he got eliminated. But besides that, we didn't really get much. So, there was a lot going on. It was one of those matches where we said there was just so much going on. You couldn't keep a track of anything. My memory from that one, more than anything else, is stunners from Aspen Rose. I know she gave a stunner to Jake Hollister. To me, that was the standout moment. I'm not even sure who won. It might have been Eric.
It very well might have been. Honestly, no disrespect to anybody at Nova, some of those shows carried on for quite a long time.
Yes.
So if I am a little short memory, that's probably why. I probably was just late, I was tired, and can't quite remember it all. We
left on the first one. We had no idea. It was our first indie show. We had no idea. And after about 4 hours, we were like, I'm done. I think you had a field trip or something. It was sick, and I was like, I can't stay. And we missed probably one of the biggest matches ever, Eric and Logan at Nova Project 3. But hey, it was, I totally relate to that. Now, your first wins actually came at the Commonwealth Cup. There was actually 3 separate events during Commonwealth Cup weekend. You got wins versus Travis Huckabee, and also in a 4-way match with Eddie Only, Mac Buckler, and Wes Barkley. Perhaps not necessarily from that. Any memories from Commonwealth Cup weekend?
I've got some great memories from that weekend. I gotta make sure I'm thinking of the right one, though, because if I'm not mistaken, was Homicide and Nick Gage and Fred Yehai, were they all in that?
I'm not sure about Yehai. Homicide certainly was, yeah. And certainly Nick Gage was.
Gotcha.
Because Nick Gage had a match against PCO, so yes.
Okay, so I think I have the right weekend in my mind, but there was quite an experience where it was me, Homicide, Donst, and Gage. We were all heading back to the motel afterwards, after I want to say it was night 1. And we had the address, we had all the info, and we go to the room with the key that was given to us. I want to say the promoter handed it over to us, and go to the door, swipe the key, boom, push the door open, and wouldn't you know it, there was this couple in the bedroom, and we woke them up. It's 2 a.m. This is one of the wildest experiences ever. I can't even fathom what they might have been thinking at 2 a.m. with like these big dudes in homicide, Donst, and Gage, just standing there waiting to get into the bed.
Oh my
and
God.
They were spooked. They had no clue. Apparently, we were at the motel across the street, but for whatever reason, the key card still worked. So we were able to get into their room. It made no sense, but that is probably one of my greatest memories in wrestling, let alone that weekend.
Wow, that's absolutely crazy. Now, I'm going to move on to Nova Project 4. So we've been at Nova for a year at this point, and you actually had a match against somebody you talked about earlier, Tim Donst. The thing that stood out for me more than anything on that one was Tim Donst is a legend at Nova. Obviously, super popular. The safety first character was just so over. That match was interesting because, to me, you were actually more popular than Tim was. Like, when you came out, like, Tim got the reactions and everything, but when Breaux was announced, like, everyone was going crazy for you. And in the matches, you could hear, Breaux. You can hear the... What are your memories about that? For me, that was the match when you really did start to get some traction.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well. I think that was probably one of my... I don't know, quote-unquote premier matches, if you will, where I really got an opportunity to get in there, be on the main show, and I know at the time, Twisted Tate, my aforementioned trainer, he was actually at the show too. So being able to go out there in that atmosphere with that audience, and for him to have been there to see it, I know that was something I wanted to do just from my perspective, was to show him like, hey man, like all the training that we put in, it's starting to like really come together. And I was just proud because it was something that, you know, he saw something in me, gave me the opportunity, gave me the chance, and, you know, he worked with me and trained me, and then for him to be there to see it, it was just something that I really appreciated. And to get that reaction, I was honestly surprised. It was something where it's like, I almost didn't even know how to react because I was like, whoa, wait, is this real? And to do it with a great buddy of mine like Tim Donst, as you said, dude's a legend.
Yeah.
He's so amazing. Like, he literally lives like 4 blocks down the street from me. So yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. And for him to even, you know, work with me in that match, make sure we can both show off some of our strong suits and really put something together, it was very magical.
Now, I was going to ask you, I actually thought you were from Pennsylvania, but at Nova Pro, they kept referring to you as from Maryland. So, which is it?
So, you are correct. Lancaster, Pennsylvania, home of the Amish, but no, I'm not Amish. I just thought, I guess kind of going back to one of your first questions regarding my character, I just felt like, you know, Cockeysville, Maryland, just like the ring of that name. I was like, that's where I want to be from. And it's literally probably like, I don't know, maybe an hour away from here, so it kind of works out. But yeah, definitely from Pennsylvania.
Now, we could talk for hours, so I'm going to condense the last 8 months of Nova Pro. Here were some memories. People talked about, hey, you should really have a Nova Bro t-shirt. And I remember jumping on that. I was like, yeah, you should definitely do that as well. You tagged with Willow. You had a couple of matches with Jonathan Gresham. There was a rival with Bobby Shields. Memories from right from the end, I guess.
Those are all great memories, actually. I'm glad you mentioned them because even when Willow and I tagged, that was something special because it was so organic. I was actually supposed to tag with Barbie Hayden for that tournament, but I guess she had travel issues or something with her flight, so she wasn't able to make it. But Willow was there, and it was like, boom, this is it. Let's get after it. And we weirdly had, like, matching gear, so everything just, like, kind of fell into place so perfectly that weekend. And, no, I really enjoyed it. She's so amazing. I've been fortunate enough to train with her a couple times as well, so she's super awesome. It was unfortunate she had the neck injury that she did, but, you know, I'm glad she's back after it now, and I know her and Solo are doing a lot of cool tag team stuff as well. Being in the ring with Gresham, that was amazing. More than anything, that was just a learning experience because he's so incredibly gifted when it comes to thinking about wrestling differently than anybody else. So I could probably debate every show that he's on, he has the best match because he's that good. He's so talented. He doesn't just think of doing the moves. He thinks of, putting the story together. He thinks of, the different intricacies that not everybody looks into and normally would just bypass, but he makes sure that we incorporate those into matches. So that was something I'm super grateful for as well. He was very nice, very generous. So that was amazing. Bobby Shields, I still hate that guy. No, Bobby's great. We had a fun little rivalry. That's the extent of it. I would work with him any day of the week if we could. I actually ran into him down at MCW as well.
Yeah.
Him and his Robbie and Bobby, the tag team that he's in there.
Robbie!
But no, yeah, exactly. But no, it is so hilarious that you say it because I legitimately had a Nova Bro t-shirt designed. I was going to send it to the printers. I'll send you the screenshot of the design too. I was going to send it to have it printed, but then like a week later, they were like, nope, not having any more shows, we're done.
Hold on. Yeah.
And everything just kind of, they closed shop like super quick. And I was like, no, I wanted that shirt to be printed, but you got to win some, you got to lose some.
Well, that was the thing as well. We didn't think we were going to see perhaps any of you guys anymore, because at that time there was just nothing. We even talked to you about, hey, can you remind us what the name of your organization is that you wrestle in Pennsylvania with? And we would have made that 3-hour drive up to Lancaster. And anyway, as it happened...
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from them.
Goodbye!
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/
Percenters, and we got James Alexander. No.
So, the last event, the main event, was the Old Dominion Rumble. That was why we were there. Last week, we saw a steel cage match. We'd never seen a Rumble before. They limited the time a little bit. They limited it to 75 seconds. They did have all 30 people, though, which I thought was really good. And I think you got the order that they came in. So, do you want to talk about the first two people?
Yeah, the first two people were Bo Crockett and Sage Phillips.
And Sage Phillips, we already talked about, had already had a match. He'd had a tough match against Jonathan Gresham. So coming in number 2, that's a tough break for him.
With a black eye.
With a black eye. And the thing that we noticed straight away, you couldn't really see the clock.
No.
The clock was way too low. We were on the far side of the ring. You're too low to be able to see it because you've got the ring in front of you. I'm tall enough to see it, but even I couldn't see it. I could see tiny little bits. And I'm like, how are we going to know when it's counting down? Now, luckily, they did have the ring announcers there who were counting down when you got to 10. And that first one was really cool because it was just like being there, right? We did it. 10. Yeah. 9, and they got to 1. And I'd heard this on one of the other pay-per-views, that WWR one I talked about recently, and I was interested to hear if people would do the same thing. After 1, would they go, ah, like the klaxon actually does? And did they? You bet they did. Every single time. It was like 3, 2, 1, ah. So that was kind of good. Sometimes you couldn't always hear that later in the match because you were so engrossed in the match, and I think they were as well. They've kind of forgot a little bit. That would be one thing that I didn't like about this. I want the clock higher, like you said, like almost like a shot clock.
Yeah, and there was a basketball shot clock too.
There was. I don't know if they can change that. I know shot clock's normally like at 24 or 30 or something like that, but I'm sure they could have fixed that. I thought that was something
they
missing.
easily could have put 75.
They could. I guess you can do that as well. You're right. Number 7 was Graham Bell. So what can you remember about Graham Bell's entrance?
So Graham Bell comes in and he throws these papers that says missing bazooka. Have you seen this?
And he lost it, I think it was about 3 months ago. And I've seen the story developing on Twitter, and it looked like we were going to get an answer to that question. And we didn't actually get an answer at all. But yeah, he just kept on going up to people. Have you seen it? And he told one person, I don't believe you. And I thought that was kind of an interesting one. I wish I could have grabbed one of those flyers. That would have been a great souvenir.
And the other thing is that his goggles that he comes in with, it was stuck to his hair.
It was, yeah. Somebody had to. I think the ref had to help him at one point as well. He had a bit of an issue there, and a bit of a. I think his jacket as well wouldn't come off at one point as well. He had a few little issues as we were going through. All right, what about number 8?
Number 8 is Aspen Rose.
Now, I meant to look before we started this. Nova Pro asked for 5 people who you really wanted to come back. And I'm going to do this off the top of my head. I know you picked Benjamin Banks.
I picked Benjamin Banks, Bobby Orlando, Aspen
and
Rose.
Bobby Orlando Jr. as well, which was a really clever pick. You picked Aspen Rose.
And Jinx.
And you picked Jinx. So you actually got 4 of your 5 people actually in. So you did pretty well on this one. So Aspen Rose made a great impression when she came in. Stunners to everybody.
Yeah.
When we saw Stunners at the last one in the Maryland, we really enjoyed that one there as well. 12. So number 12 was Josh Fuller. Do you want to talk about Josh Fuller's entrance?
Josh Fuller runs in like Ultimate Warrior, slides through the other side of the ring, and then he hides under the ring, and the refs are just looking at like, what?
Yeah.
He went through the bottom rope though.
He did.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly legal, and I think they should change that rule. I don't think you should be touching. If you're on touching the floor, I think you should only get like 20 seconds to touch the floor, and then you should be back in the ring. I don't know why you're allowed to sit outside and not get involved, particularly if people don't know. Now, he kept playing it up, though, because he kept poking his head out, so everyone knew that he was still there.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, how long is he going to stay there? He could stay to the end and no one have any clue. Now, it didn't actually happen that way, so then 14, Breaux Keller came in, and actually he did get Josh Fuller out, and he put him back into the ring. So we're down to 2. We're down to Gunnar, and we're down to Arik, who fought fairly recently as well, and Gunnar actually had the advantage, and it was close. It looked like Arik was going to win. He managed to get Gunnar out of the ring twice. His feet were dangling, and then Gunnar, for a big guy, very athletic, managed to get himself back in the ring. And then he did it on our side of the ring as well, and he was close. He got some strength, got it back in again. And anyway, in the final way he did get knocked out was Gunnar's running towards Arik. He dropped the top rope. I'm never convinced by that. I'm like, surely you can slam on the brakes a little bit. Anyway, he went straight over the top, and Arik won. All right, let's move on to match 2 then, since we started terribly. All right, match 2. This was Travis Huckabee versus Breaux Keller. Travis Huckabee, I think, is who you called Huckleberry last time, Mason, if I remember correctly.
I have it down as Huckabee.
It's Huckabee.
Huckabee?
There was a politician who used to run for president whose name was Huckabee as well, Mike Huckabee. I think it's the same spelling.
I want to keep calling it Huckabee. I like that.
All right, you can call him Huckabee. All right, sure. What have you got for Huckabee then?
Yeah, Travis and Breaux Keller, they're on the top rope, and then they kind of fall off in there. And then Breaux Keller, he lands on his feet, and suddenly Travis, he's in a power bomb, and Breaux Keller has him in a power bomb. He catches him like that when they fall off the top rope, and he gives him a power bomb.
I seem to remember, and I didn't remember it was from that match, but I remember one of those where he caught him, and it's like, whoa, that was a good strike.
Yeah.
Now, I actually like Travis Huckabee a lot. I thought when we first saw him against, we saw him Wheeler Yuta last time. I can't remember who he was in the first time in the single swim tryouts.
I thought it might have been Solo Darling.
No, not in the tryout show. And I really like him. I think he's a good technical wrestler.
Yeah.
Now the thing I didn't like him, I don't like his little heel movements when he ruffles somebody's hair, because he did that with Wheeler, and then he did the same with Breaux Keller as well. I guess that's just his little thing to wind him up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he's too good of a wrestler to need to do that. I would rather see him be a full-on babyface and go with that. Breaux Keller, I like Breaux Keller as well. He definitely gets the crowd pumped up. He does his fist pump. It's like
he goes at the camera and then he sits on the second rope and he's ready, and then he pushes his hand up and down I was gonna say it's
like Zack Ryder with his woo.
You're right, and you're demonstrating that perfectly.
Except he doesn't walk quickly.
And my thought was when we've waved at truck drivers before with Jackson, and they pull on the horn, they do the same sort of thing. Well, you do the go with that and they do that same arm motion as well. But yeah, big fan of both of those two. And actually for this one, Breaux Keller actually won in the end. It says it was a pinball, and it was a delayed power bomb that I got from this one. So first match, I have actually this is a 4-way match. I'm not quite sure the order they came in. I got Mac Buckler, I got Wes Barkley, Eddie Only, and Breaux Keller. Okay, what do we have for this?
I had Josh. He has to stay on the outside because he's grounded.
He was grounded.
And then there's a chant, he is grounded. And then Josh, he's super mad, so you know how he always has to wear Matt's hat? he puts it on his head and then throws it to the ground and says, "I'm not wearing that."
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was absolutely hilarious.
We saw him during the intermission. He was still grounded in his dad's corner.
He had to turn and face the corner as well.
And then he ran away.
And he did, and then somebody grabbed him and brought him back again, and then he had to apologise, because I was over there at that time, and he had to go back into the corner again. And we talked about this with the people next to us. He stays in character really well.
Yeah.
Like, he talked trash with you in character. And, yeah, even in the intermission he did it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. All right, do you have anything specific about the match?
No.
All right. Now, Breaux Keller actually won this one. So, first match, I have... actually, this is a four-way match. I'm not quite sure the order they came in. I got Mac Buckler, I got Wes Barkley, Eddie Only, and Breaux Keller. Okay, what do we have for this?
I had Josh. He has to stay on the outside because he's grounded.
He was grounded.
And then there's a chant, "He is grounded." And then Josh, he's super mad, so you know how he always has to wear Matt's hat? He puts it on his head and then throws it to the ground and says, "I'm not wearing that."
It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was absolutely hilarious.
We saw him during the intermission. He was still grounded in his dad's corner.
He had to turn and face the corner as well.
And then he ran away.
And he did, and then somebody grabbed him and brought him back again, and then he had to apologise, because I was over there at that time, and he had to go back into the corner again. And we talked about this with the people next to us. He stays in character really well.
Yeah.
Like, he talked trash with you in character. And, yeah, even in the intermission he did it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. All right, do you have anything specific about the match?
No.
All right. Now, Breaux Keller actually won this one.
Next 7, Tim Donst versus Breaux Keller.
All right, Tim Donst and Wheeler Utah lost to Homicide and Nick Page. And as Homicide didn't turn up for this one, and Tim Donst called him out in the middle of the ring, I couldn't find any reason online why he didn't turn up for this one. There were a couple of people who didn't make it. Skylar was supposed to be there, and she had car trouble. Holly O'Hara was supposed to be there, and she had a flight that she missed or was not connected properly on time, so she couldn't make it. Didn't hear any reason why Homicide wasn't there. Breaux Keller stepped. Now, I can't find Breaux Keller's last match, but I can tell you Cool Caution Kyle was in the opener in an 8-man match at Harlem Nights, which he actually won. So that was the last match I could find from those. Anything pre-match?
So I have no notes for 6 matches because I was so into them. And this one, the Ducks match, Jake Hunter. Well,
all right, so I'm just talking for the rest of the episode, pretty much. Then.
No. Sometimes you remind me of things, and then it reminds me of
all right, well, I'm going to tell you. You actually picked up that he was wearing the Intense Wrestling belt. He actually had that as the championship. I actually found out that's the AIW title that Tim Donst won.
And I remember one more thing that Tim Donst, he was high-fiving us, and then he acknowledged us and said, "I like your podcast."
Tim actually did say that this was his big chance. I like Breaux Keller. I think he has a lot of energy, and this was a huge chance for him in a big match. Tim Donst's a big character at Nova Pro, and he actually started taunting him. Like, you want to be on the pre-show all your life? Tim flies out. Breaux had 2 failed suicide attempts through the ring. He was about to do it, and Tim ran into the ring each time, so he didn't quite get to do that. However, he was successful on the third one. I'm going to show you the clip for that later. We couldn't see it from where we were. He looks like he's suspended in air. It looks like somebody in the movies, like when they put the ropes on him and lift them up. He just got so much height on that jump. It looks really cool.
Yeah, like, he jumped half the ring and he gets so much height on him.
Yeah, it looks unreal. If you didn't know, you'd think there was like a trampoline on the inside. All right, Tim's on the outside. I'm going to feed this one to you. What happened? He's on the floor near Maddie.
Tim's on the outside, and Tim, he gets a quick drink of water, and then he closes it.
Do you want to say where he got the drink of water from? He went to like the water fountain or something?
Like
he did. He asked the fan, can I get a drink? He took a sip and then he continued. Actually, I have them actually on opposite sides of the ring at this point, and they both managed to just break the 10 count. They both got in at like 9, because it was kind of close. Also, he's taunting Breaux again. He kicks him in the face and says, "I told you, this is your chance." Breaux started giving yes kicks to Tim. Now, I started doing a little bit, yes, and I saw a couple other people do it. It never really caught on. I wasn't trying to do it too much, but everyone knew it was a yes kick, but no, it never really caught on too much. What else do I have? Oh, Tim held Breaux in the air for ages. It was like Bobby Lashley, and after a while, I was like, oh my God, it's like 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I don't know how long it was. It was a long time.
Breaux flies outside the ring, and then Tim gets inside the ring. Well, didn't he miss?
Miss what?
The suicide dive.
I don't know because I don't have that
suicide
part.
dive, and Tim brings him in the ring and gives him a pile driver for the win.
Yeah, I got Tim flies from the top rope, and there's a kick out at 2, and then like you said, the finish exactly as you had. What else do I have? Oh, I thought it was a clean win. However, the people to the side of us said Breaux Keller's foot was on the rope. So I don't know because they were going check the replay. Check. I don't know. I haven't had a chance yet. I'm not sure when it comes up on Powerbomb TV. It was under the rope. Now they called that on some of the other ones. To me, that's not enough. I think you've actually got to be on the rope. But anyway, so not sure. Great match though. Tim raises Bro's hand. I will tell you the reaction from Twitter was huge. That was what I saw more of. There was 400 tweets that had the hashtag NovaProject4. Everybody was really impressed with Breaux Keller. It looks like that he's probably going to be get a lot more ring time if it's based on the reactions of the fans anyway. I got quite a lot of different tweets that I got for this one. At Scott Nick Moore, at Breaux Keller, at Tim Donst are two of my favourite performers in at VA Wrestling, and they just showed why. I truly hope Breaux is able to get a chance in next year's Commonwealth Cup, because darn if he doesn't impress every time. Do I really need to say more about Tim Donst? I don't think so. At Commander Clark 8, made it to hashtag Nova Project 4 after all. Fun show, well paced. Breaux Keller is the star of the first half, in my opinion. Very high praise here. Last time I talked about Prince of Pro and said, shouldn't he be the Prince of Nova Pro? Well, I've got an even better one for you. At the real Dr. D, FYI, can Nova Pro become Nova Bro? New shirt, marketing, I want 10%. Seriously, LOL. No, really. I think that's a great idea. Yes. I said straight away, I was like, I want an extra large. If they have a Nova Bro shirt, I would definitely wear that. I think that would be really cool. Jasmine McKenzie got in on this as well. Yeah, even though she wasn't there. The at Breaux Keller diet sounds really dangerous. Hashtag Nova Project 4. All right, now Mason's pulling a face here. I actually responded and said, I'm going to mess with my kids later and tell them they're going on the diet, and then tell them it's the Breaux Keller diet. I don't think you could even guess what the Breaux Keller diet is, so I'm going to tell you. Cookies and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's what I thought. I thought you'd like that one. Jazza was obviously impressed with that one as well.
Alright, the third first-round match was between Harlow O'Hara and Kevin Blackwood, who she chose. I don't know if it's his debut. I don't remember seeing him at Nova Pro before.
I think it is his debut.
And the team was We Hate Everyone, including each other, which I thought was pretty funny. And also we had Breaux Keller and Willow Nightingale, who, I don't know if their tag team was called a very attractive tag team, but Willow replaced Barbie. Now, I'm not sure if... I thought she said her name was Willow, but I saw people post online as Nightingale, so I'm not sure which one you go with. Don't know. She wanted the team to be called Will Bro. So I was like, Will is obviously short for Willow. Oh. So I thought it was Willow, but I'm not sure which one. So if we're saying the wrong one, we do apologise. Anything for the intro for this one?
I really like Willow as a wrestler.
Me too?
Yeah.
Do you have anything for the intro, though?
No.
Rather just making random comments? Alright, the thing I have for this one is Harlow did actually make it into the ring with her crown on her head this time. She kept it on her head, and it was like a sarcastic applause from the crowd, like, yay, you managed to get the crown on your head. Breaux Keller came in with a ton of energy, as he always does. Mm-hmm. And I don't have anything else, so let's go to the match then.
Oh, I remember Willow, she tried to do when Breaux Keller, he gets on the ropes and then...
does his fist bump?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She did that. It was really funny.
Yeah. They did also wear each other's shirts as well, and we should have said that for the whole thing. Every match, like Faye would wear Aric's shirt, and Aric would wear Faye's shirt, and vice versa. But yeah, that's something to add in as a little detail. All right, let's get to the match then.
So the only thing I do have for the match is Willow, she suplexed Kevin halfway across the ring.
And that's what I have. I have big suplex, exclamation point, exclamation point. I also had that Willow was very acrobatic as well.
Yeah.
She was doing cartwheels and she was getting out of all sorts of moves. I was really impressed with Willow. So at the end of the match, and I know we're cutting a little bit to the end because I don't have much either, someone actually said, please come back. I'm like, they won. They have to come back. They're going to be in the final. Yeah, I don't have much at all. There was going to be Harlow broke up what was a definite 3. All 4 of them were pretty much in the ring. Breaux did a big kick on Harlow. And the end, I didn't get the end. I got this from PW Ponderings. Willow does a Death Valley pile driver on Kevin. And both, same thing, both of them pinned just to make sure. I didn't have much because it was a great match. I was into the new characters, and I just didn't write much down. I'm not worried about writing stuff down anymore. Before, it used to be like, I have to write stuff down. I'm like, we'll think of stuff as we go along.
Yeah,
if I'm enjoying the match,
that's the thing about podcasting. You say something which makes me remember something else.
Yeah.
And so the things we forgot, we both help each other out remembering them.
We do. And I'll often pick up things. I didn't have Harlow's crown written down at all. But I remembered it as we were going through, and then
Honestly,
that reminded me of the second time when she came
I
in as
didn't
well.
have the hooligans when the crotch grabbed for the elimination either.
And that's why I'm not too worried now. We'll often think of extra
and another
things
thing
as
I
we go
noticed
along.
about Veda Scott, she didn't have her mask on, the big cat mask.
Oh, she didn't. No, I didn't think about that at all. Perhaps with it being pop culture. I don't think she does it with pop culture.
Oh.
I think that might be the difference, but perhaps as for singles match, she does that. And the main event. So we got Veda Scott and Jason Cade. We got Alley Cat and MJF. Breaux Keller and Willow Nightingale. And Eric Royal and Faye Jackson. Now, for the start, I got one thing which I'm going to mention. When Brian came on, he was like, the match scheduled for, well, I guess 3 falls. And the crowd goes, 3 falls, which is obviously a play because normally it's just 1 fall. So I kind of like that as well. All right, anything for the entrances?
No.
Ali had to grab MJF by the ear again to drag him out.
Oh, yeah.
There were streamers being thrown, which there hadn't been many. I think there had only been 1 at this point. And finally they were trying to get them. Jason Cade hated it. Yeah. He got them and launched it like behind the curtain, and then everyone just started throwing more streamers at that point, and he kept trying to do the same. They were wrapping them. Ali was wrapping them around MJF's head, which he hated.
And then the people from the back threw the streamers back into the ring.
They threw them back in. They went over the lights. Oh, there was a lot of streamers. It was
fun. MJF just walked out the ring, just sat there, and then Ali tried to get him back into the ring, and then he just kept saying nope.
Yeah, you could see from where he was. You couldn't hear him, but you could see he was going no. But no, he was funny on that one as well. The match started with Jason Cade actually taking out Breaux Keller. So once again, Jason Cade's being the heel character again. I do have in the middle, there was a dance-off again. There was some flossing. And then MJF was like, no, we're not doing this. And he took them out. So he was playing his character again strongly as well. The MJF did try to get the crowd going with a chant of MJF. And all that happened was the crowd went, meow, meow, meow. So he wasn't winning on that one either, but that was kind of funny. You got anything?
I remember there was multiple suicide dives next to us.
There certainly was. I got one thing before that happened. Yeah. Face smacks MJF, knocks him to the ground, he rolls out the ring, and then he staggers around the outside to his corner where he was supposed to be, which he sold that brilliantly.
I remember that Willow gave a Samoan drop to Eric Royal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when MJF was sitting near us, and then Ali suplexed Eric Royal, and then he got up and sold that perfectly. And then he said, "You okay? You're back okay?"
Yeah, because you tried to lift him, we were like, yeah, that's not happening. And then eventually she did suplex him.
Yeah, I think he might have jumped a little bit, but...
Oh, it was still impressive. From our angle, it looked beautiful.
I think he jumped half of it, and Ali just bring him down the easy part.
Can you imagine if he landed on you, though?
Oh,
It's still risky. It's still pretty risky. I thought it was great. I loved it. Now, those suicide dives that you're talking about, I got the exact chain here for what happened. On the outside, Veda Scott climbed up to the top rope with the help of Jason Cade, which is what happened in previous pop culture match, and she took out 3 people from the outside. Willow then got in, and she took out 4 people with a suicide dive, and then Breaux Keller did his suicide dive, which took out all 5 people on the outside. So everybody's basically lying near us, which was really cool to see. Everybody was on our side. Everyone had to move out of the way again, of course, because they didn't want to get hit. And the first people that were out were Willow and Breaux. They got pinned by MJF and Ali, so we're down to 3 teams. Match 9, Jonathan Gresham versus Breaux Keller.
As soon as the match starts, Bobby comes, attacks Breaux, and hits the ref in his, dingo.
In the ding-ding, it said on the commentary.
I still like dingo better.
I like dingo as well. Matt likes that you use dingo. You got your own little PG word that you could use.
And they had to restart the match.
Uh-huh. Now, I actually just posted on Twitter before this match, I was like, I'd like to thank Bobby Shields for interfering in that last match, so we get to see this match properly again. And then within 30 seconds of that happening, Bobby Shields came out and ruined the match, so I had to delete that tweet. I was like, are you kidding me? I was really happy with Bobby and then really annoyed with him at the next second.
And, well, they restarted the match.
They had to ask for permission. Gresham actually came on the mic, and he says, Mike, is Mike around? He's like, can we restart the match? And of course, Mike said yes, because everyone wanted to see that match. Everyone would have been really annoyed. I think he complained last time, or like I said, I didn't travel here 3 hours just so I could, or 5 hours, whatever it was, just to not have a match. So Gresham really wanted a match as well.
So I got some huge height on Breaux's leaps.
Oh. You ought to see the pictures that Jay Lee takes. They're amazing. You're looking at me like, how does he get up there? It's like, it defies physics. He just gets he's got a really good vertical leap.
Yeah.
It looks really impressive.
Flying knee off apron by Gresham. I mean Breaux.
Mm-hmm.
Breaux catches Gresham in a crossbody, and Breaux jumps Gresham and catches him into a suplex.
Yeah.
That's like, so you catch him first, you twist him around and throw him up, and then you catch him into a suplex and then actually suplex him. That's got to be a lot of strength.
There's a lot of strength. They're both really good technical wrestlers as well. I think a lot of people think Jonathan Gresham's the best technical wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah.
Certainly for pound anyway. But yeah, no, Breaux Keller's definitely up and coming. I listed him as my most improved. It was really difficult to pick that category. I actually looked at some of the matches from over a year ago, and I'd forgotten. Breaux Keller was like the first match. Because that shows you how much he's improved. This is like match 9. He's really moved up the card. He's like the real superstar now, where it used to be like a pre-match. I actually thought Cool Caution Kyle was the first time we saw him, but I guess he had some matches earlier. He was at the, I think it was the Pumpkin Laureate or whatever it was called.
Yeah, Pumpkin Latte.
Yeah, something like that. So, but yeah, no, he's come a long way. All right, anything else for this one?
Yeah,
I got a few.
Breaux slips off the ropes and into a relatable Jeff Hardy Jinder Mahal moment.
Yeah, he was. He was trying to do a springboard attempt, and yeah, he slipped. But luckily, I would say they carried on, and the rest was fine after that. But yeah, that was a little unfortunate.
Gresham and Breaux trade pins, and then I had the ending.
And that's what I got. Multiple pin attempts. There was reversals. It was like 1, 2, and then it was flip over. 1, 2, flip. I thought that was really good as well. I did get Breaux Keller started really quick in this match. He had a huge bulldog at the start, and then yeah, I'm ready for the ending as well. So go ahead.
So Gresh just rolls up Breaux.
I got a bridging back cradle, it says here.
Oh.
After the match, but you're right. Basically what you said is correct. And then at the end of the match, the crowd were cheering for both these guys again. And same thing. It's like, I was just sat back and enjoyed that match. I like both of those wrestlers. There's a lot of matches in Nova Pro where it's like that. You like not rooting for one or the other. You're just looking for a good wrestling match. Gresham praised Breaux Keller, and a lot of people have been praising him. Safety First obviously praised him as well after their match fairly recently. And then Bobby came back again and he attacked him again. So I think at some point, I think it's pretty obvious we're going to be getting Breaux Keller versus Bobby Shields. And the commentary said that the reason Bobby keeps attacking him is he's kind of jealous that Bobby only gets like the first or second matches now, whereas Breaux gets the end matches.
Match on here.
Where he didn't know. Whereas normally...